Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a VeVe OMI update video. A little bit some other stuff too. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon, smashing the super thanks button down below. And what's your budget going to be for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Street Fighter? Corey the other day had said there's going to be multiple drops of multiple characters of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the next couple of years. That's something where I think they're just going to hit the ground running. They just got the license and they're, again, ready to drop right away. For Street Fighter, it's kind of the opposite. They've had this license for half a decade, and this is the first time that they're dropping it. I don't know if it's because they wanted to wait until maybe the technology got better before they were able to go in and really show true appreciation to the art, or they were just like, the licensor said, yeah, we got a movie coming out in X amount of years, gonna have to wait till that. And that being said, for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, how many times can you go on and redo those same characters? They've done that for Mickey Mouse, they've done that for Vader, they've done that for Spider-Man a whole bunch. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't. I mean, you could have them with different versions of them from the 80s, 90s, 2000s. They are rebooted every X amount of years. Heck, April O'Neil, I think, is black in one of the new ones. So again, lots of different iterations of the character. Speaking of which, for Street Fighter, you have a lot of iterations of a lot of characters. Back in the OG series, like the Alpha games, you had Ryu having a white headband. But then why does he have a red headband in most of the rest of the games since the early 90s? Well, it's because Ken Masters, the other guy, he gives him his red headband. He fights him in this giant tournament. There's a whole crazy amount of lore, but at the end of it, Ken gives Ryu his headband, and that's why he has it, canonically. And I mentioned this in a live the other day. President of Russia at the time, Gorbachev, is canon to the Street Fighter games. And he goes to Zangief and is like, hey, you need to represent Russia in the Street Fighter tournament. I was like, okay, for Mother Russia. And I think it's possible that we could get Gorbachev on the VeVe app. Obviously not him himself, he has passed away, but his collectible, I think that would be so freaking cool. You have Mega Man and all this, but how much is all this going to cost? The diorama for Ninja Turtles is like $30. Cool. And that'll do like that. That's actually pretty cool. Like I'll get one of those. And maybe you get the secret rare. And if I get the secret rare, I'll sell it and I'll get one of the other ones, because that's going to be probably a couple $100 for the secret rare. For Street Fighter, again, you have so many different versions of all of these characters. Can we get 8-bit ones? Can we get ones with from Machinima, like the live action ones? Can we get what video games are we going from? And do we have any crossovers? Like they've crossed over with Mega Man before. Like anything under the Capcom license should be able to be crossed over with, which we already have Monster Hunter, which is great. There's Resident Evil. Again, I said Mega Man. There's a whole bunch out there that they could do. I think these are some that, depending on how they look, I mean, remember when Secret Rare Spider-Man was 400? These are obviously a little different. It's a different time now. It's not a raging bull market. You're probably going to see, I don't think any of these are going to be like Mighties or like $13. I could see these being $40, $50, because they, again, from a lot of the newer artwork that we've had, like I can't remember the last time we had like a bad looking collectible. Back in the day, if you've been here a while, you saw, okay, Electra, kind of trash. All right, this X, whatever collectible, look at the teeth, kind of trash, not good. And I have some Electra. I have a couple sub 100s of Electra. Why? Because I do. But that being said, the amount of time in which you had bad collectible, good, bad collectible, like the amount of time you have in between bad collectibles or collectibles that don't look as good has really stretched out. Comment down below if you remember one. Well, I remember this collectible and it didn't look that good. Cool. Let me know, because I honestly can't remember. And I'm looking real forward to how these are going to look. And because all of them have looked really good, they kind of justify the higher price points. And again, that's fine. VeVe make that money. How much am I going to budget? I'll budget probably for the diorama. I'm just going to get one, and if I get the common or whatever it is, non-secret rare, and it goes down to like $6, okay, whatever, it's fine. But for the actual turtles, if they're blind boxes, oh god, I don't know. I'm gonna say Michelangelo. I think he's gonna be like the one that people are really gonna want, and then I like Donatello because superior weapon, right? It might be cheaper to be able to try to get him on the secondary, in which case maybe $100. But if you want to do it blind boxes, one of those like virgin variants, like that might be a little bit. And with crypto so down right now, I'm trading stuff for it. I just sold the sub 100 Todd for like 11 million OMI. Nice, I'll take that all day. I don't know where OMI goes from here. We could see some more sideways and even downward action, get into the quad zeros. I'm not gonna sell any OMI for any of these collectibles right now. That being said, if OMI goes up at a significant rate and the collectibles don't follow it at a commensurate rate and they stay down here, you're about to be able to trade some OMI for gems in the next like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, give or take. And then people, in order to cash out, they won't be able to cash out with gems. They'll only be able to cash out with OMI. It'll be a decent burn, so I do like that. But they're two separate pots of money for me. I'll have my crypto pot of money and then my collectible pot of money. The collectible pot of money, turtles are cool. They're dope. I had Michelle Ivey on, who's just like turtle master. Go watch that podcast. That's like vintage Randy Chavez podcast. It's so good. But I like Street Fighter a little bit more than Ninja Turtles. And again, Turtles in Time. I played a bunch of those games. They're great, but it's Street Fighter. I have to. I'll probably budget a couple $100 for them, depending. Like if there's, and I expect there to be a few different versions of Ryu and Ken. Chun-Li is going to be a fan favorite. Cammy's like the girls in general are going to be a fan favorite. I think a lot of girls on DC will start to become fan favorites if Disney buys Warner Brothers, and then suddenly Harley Quinn's like this. Oh yeah, she's a Disney princess now. It'd be insane. But a lot of girls will be fan favorites. I don't know how they're going to do like M. Bison, who was originally like Mike Bison, like. He became Balrog, and then M. Bison is now the dictator, and there's a bunch of different things that they've done. One that I'm very curious to see how they handle is Poison, because back in the day, Poison, even though looks like a woman, was a dude, like the first transgender video game character ever, and then now they haven't really addressed that, and like how is VeVe going to address that? I'm really curious on what they do. Like, is Poison a male? Is the identity unknown? Like, there's so much cool things that VeVe could do with this, and I'm just curious on how they handle it. I don't think they're probably going to stay away from that for now, and we're probably going to get the other stuff. But Dalsim, and like, are they animated? At some point, are you going to be able to use these in a game? Like, I've been waiting for a bunch of these forever, and the marketing that VeVe and company, like the VeVe and their licensors, the agreements, we haven't really received a lot of love or any love from any of the companies that work with VeVe, where they sell a bunch of their stuff, and I feel like VeVe's like this fat redhead at the end of the bar. Like, they can't get any attention from Marvel or Star Wars or Disney. Like, nobody tweets them out. Now, maybe that is on purpose. Maybe it's because, hey, you know what? NFT Bull Run's not here. They want to save that marketing for it. But if they're going to save the marketing for the NFT Bull Run, why did they go in and they reveal two of the biggest multi-billion-dollar licenses out there in the world in the same week? It's not like, yeah, we had to do this quarter, give them a little something, then we had to announce this quarter because there was a lot of FUD. No, they did this in the same week. maybe they're going to start to do marketing. I don't know. I mean, there's so many things that they could do. And again, I've gone over, people 8 months ago, 10 months ago, there was like, yo, exchanges, just get on a big exchange. The price will go up. It's hard to get the token. Well, now it's very easy to get the token. And yeah, we kind of have a listing on Coinbase. Unless you're in New York, because if you're registered in New York, Coinbase, New York's just horrible with crypto. Don't ever move there. It's trash. Worse than New Jersey, give or take. And then people are like, okay, well, burns. If they burn, then they'll go in and they'll people will see that and then they'll buy the token. And maybe, I think it's a little bit of everything. Like if you have a little bit of market, you have to get the number of active users up. And again, one of the main barriers to entry for that is KYC. And as they get rid of KYC, going to the cash out through OMI only, and they get rid of gem cash out, you should see a lot more people that are joining the app. And we've seen it already. Over the past 2 weeks, we've had 300 new users. And over the past 4 weeks, we've had actually, I think, 400 users. And I think that number's only going to get bigger. Now, right now, we don't have that. We get them to buy. We don't really get a lot of them to stay, because the average active daily user between 500 1100 the last like 2 weeks. But I think in the near future, you reach that inflection point of so many new people coming in, some people start to stay and trickle in, prices go up, especially if crypto goes up. I mean, I know a bunch of people are stacking OMI down here. My last video, 300 million OMI now. And I might get more. Granted, I really do need to get more DEVVE. I really do need to get more DECAT. Definity I'm fine on for right now, but if that price goes any lower, I might get some of that too. These things are, I mean, I know a couple of people that got tens of millions, if not like 100 million OMI this past week, and which granted right now is worth nothing. 100 million OMI is like $15,000. But if that triples and we go to and suddenly they have 45K, it's like, okay, well, what do people do when they have found money? They go in and they say, well, I can spend 15,000 OMI or $15,000 worth of OMI. I could cash out 15 grand worth of OMI. That's my initial investment, and then I have another 15 million OMI in there to play with. I think prices tend to rise, and OMI and the collectibles at some point will form that symbiotic circle where what happens to one will affect the other. And I don't think people really understand that yet, but they will. And anyway, long story short, burns could help, marketing could help, users will help. All of them together, if they fusion you put them in a bowl and you Kirby cook them, and yeah, they could do something really well. And I think some of that might be starting, because why else would you have two of these most incredible licenses out there? SWI, that blockchain, they go out and tout DeLorean token a lot, because it's like, hey, we're not, I feel like it's written by ChatGPT, we're not just a crypto, we're innovative, we're an actual company with like these revenues, and SWI goes on and they promote them all the time, because there's not too many companies on the SWI blockchain that have any nostalgic brand, or even have like any company. But DeLorean does with their DMC token, and I know the token's not doing that well right now, but I think at some point that actually does really well. And they're at like a $8 million market cap, and OMI's at like 40. OMI has like 200x the amount of IP that DeLorean does, including DeLorean, but they only have 5x the market cap. Like that does not compute. Something's very, very wrong there. They have 200 to 300 times the IP, because DeLorean's just one, including DeLorean, but the market cap is only 5x. Again, does not compute. I think at some point that widens, and that changes a crazy amount. And I think DeLorean is probably undervalued, which means I really think OMI's undervalued. None of this is financial advice. And again, crypto is weird. On paper, okay, you have VeVe and OMI, number one in their field, in their industry. No one's catching them. DEVVE, contingent transaction sets, T+0 settlement time. They have a huge stock exchange partner. We don't know who it is. Going to revolutionize the way finance works. And then you have like Definity, which goes on, and they are netting more than VeVe grosses every month, and that's insane. And they have a $3 million market cap. And if I were to tell you, like, okay, you have these three companies in April, and then you have My IP, you have DeCat, you know, it's a comic book. It started off as a meme coin, but, you know, they have a couple of things in assets under management. There's no revenue yet. What do you think would outperform what? You'd probably put those other three first, and then DeCat number 4, but DeCat's been the one that's outperformed the other cryptos. It's done like a 5x since April. Every one of those cryptos is either the same or down. Crypto makes no sense. So I bought more OMI here. I've been buying more crypto just because to me it makes sense. I don't know how much lower these can go, and it's crypto. They can all go lower. Anything can go to zero at any moment, but I feel like this is I can't not stack here. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should wait. Maybe I should wait until DEVVE's 20 cents and Definity's a $2 million market cap and OMI's a $20 million market cap. Maybe I should wait. Or this is kind of close to the bottom here. We don't know. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. And everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. Love you guys. Yeah.